everything that you talked about, all your training, all the preparations, the way your life almost seemingly was random, or you were beaten down, or you were kind of made to quit, but you didn't want to quit, and all that prepared you for that
Yeah,
one
no,
fateful night that basically shaped the rest of your life and altered history pretty much.
it did alter it in a positive and a negative way, and but again, we'll say that for the end. But no, I think a lot of us that serve or that have been through, and there's a lot of veterans out there that have been through a lot of combat, have or even had momentous events happen that may not be out there publicly, like 13 Hours is, or the movie called The Outpost, where you talk about the
Yes.
Coringo Valley, and
Yeah.
you or We Were Soldiers, where they talk about where Colonel Hal Moore, and they went through those events. You have to take a second after it's done and everything's done and look back and maybe ask yourself, why did that happen? And I didn't see that all those things I'd gone through prior to that were preparing me for that till honestly probably about 2017, when I put a gun to my mouth. I did. At the end of 2017, where things were just going. I was divorced. I was toxic relationships, bad business decisions, um, too much social media. I was buying into my own. I mean, that was my mistress. That became my friend. And it's not. That's not at all, guys.
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah.
but that's where, and it is your faith, having faith in God, who says, okay, since you're too dumb to figure it out, Tano, Kris, or God calls me Tano too. That's my sociopath that's coming out. But since you're too dumb to figure it out, as you got this Glock to your mouth, I'm gonna show you why I did all this for you. And it wasn't to you; it was for you. Why you got kicked out of the military? Why you went through the ulcerative colitis? Why you had to go through everything again? Why you saw the made a bad call and saw a little girl die that you could have saved in the monster in 2005. Why all that happened. It was because when this night came, you could get through it. It was to help you be able to handle adversity. It was to have that grandmother that told you to never quit. It was to have that mother that always asked you if you worked hard enough whenever you didn't make a team, it was to put you through that adversity. So when that happened, you got through it. And it really, all those guys were like that. That's what was the blessing of that team, which was so amazing. Our team was pretty incredible. I'd only been on one team that was that good over the 18 years military and contracting, and that was in Kandahar. I had a team that was that good,
Mhm.
where it just was rock stars. And like I said, not that we all got along, we didn't,
No, of
but
course.
every guy was just amazing and had gone through enough adversity throughout their lives that things that night didn't phase any of us. And it's wonderful to work on a team like that, because then your confidence and your courage goes up, because you're like, I got guys, I got it, man. I got this guy. Boone's next to me here, slaying guys with the SR-25. Oz and Tig are over there doing what they need to do. I'm doing my job. Roan is controlling the flow. He's taking care of everybody, and he's getting in the fight. You got Jack, who's just over here making sure that we got coverage on this side, and he's tearing it up, and he's throwing his 2 cents in whenever we need to be picked up. And I was able to look at it in 2018 when I was tried to commit suicide, and look back and go, wow, all right, God, you did. I get it. Put the gun down, turn that anger that was going through me, and doing a lot of interviews didn't help with that anger
Mhm.
at that time. And there were a lot of the mainstream interviews, not like what we do
Of
here.
course.
This is
Of course.
Podcasts are a lot different
Yeah.
because we have time to talk. But I remember, I'm doing all those mainstream media interviews where they really did want you to be angry. They
Yeah.
wanted you to say something clickbait. They're pushing you, and not that was my fault. I chose to be on them. It's nobody else's fault but my own. But looking back and being like, oh crap, all this anger, all these things, God put me through this to get through that night, which was quite amazing. Man, it was a fucking amazing night. It was wonderful. If I look When I look back at it now, is seeing the things I got to see and experience adversity and courage and leadership and heroism from these warriors that I got to be with. I got to be there that night with these warriors. It's like, put you've had an amazing life. You've got an amazing life ahead of you. Put that gun down and be thankful for all that adversity that you went through. And then be thankful for Benghazi, because you're going to have to go through adversity later. And Benghazi is just prepping you for something down the line. And having the ability to stand back and let God talk through you. Finally, talk through me. Said, God, I need you. And me having to ask, I said, God, I need you. And I did say that in the mirror. God, I need you. I can't do this anymore. I need you to carry me. And him and being silent, just be silent for a second and say, this is why. And it's like a light bulb went. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And then getting my life back in order, getting my shit in order, calling my wife, getting reconciling with her, becoming a family again, and getting, stopping doing all the mainstream media. At that time too, I destroyed, I got rid of, I got kicked off of Twitter, so I didn't get rid of that account, but getting rid of Instagram and Facebook, and just really cleanse. It's like cleansing everything,
Yes.
purging everything that's negative, and working on family. And I say working on myself. Working on family is working on myself,
Yeah.
and reconnecting with my son, who was now 16,
Wow.
reconnecting with my daughter, who is now 9, who I didn't have a good relationship with either of them. And I have a new son. I have a son that at that time he was 2. So I'm like, holy crap! I already missed pretty much my 16 and my 9-year old's life. I'm missing it. I'm giving. Here's another chance for me to be a father, and I'm missing that again,
Yeah.
and fixing it. It is. It really. It really is being able to take that time to take a second and turning things that you may think are terrible and awful in your life to really they're not. They're learning for you so you can get through things that may happen later in life, so you're prepared for those. And then also once they're done, looking back and reflecting, man, that I've lived an amazing life, and I've got more to come. And it's turning positives into negatives. It's cliche. It's what people say, making mountains out of molehills. It's
Mm.
turning, getting lemons and making it lemonade. But that is honestly the truth, and that's what happened. And that's why I don't see Benghazi as a nightmare. That's why I would go back in a heartbeat. If they said you got to go back and do it again, all right, I've done that before with the military. Let's go,
I know,
and
and you,
and experiencing it.
it,
And it's just amazing.
dude. I've heard you say that phrase in different contexts, including some of the behind-the-scenes interviews for 13 Hours, and just hearing you say it again right now, it's like, dude. First off, this is the guy that was there on the ground. Secondly, there's a movie about him. Third, he's he's the real deal. It's like this is the guy.
Oh,
Like I feel like I have an out of body experience just talking. Every time I talk to you guys, like, but you guys were freaking there. And look, as someone as